depression is there for longer duration of time. Antidepressants. Now, depression is a very common phenomenon. The problem comes when the duration is increased. Day-to-day life, we get depressed because of small events. That is not a big problem. But when depression goes for a longer period of time, that causes major problem. It is called as major depression dysthymia. Dysthymia means long-term depression. That adversely affects our mental well-being and everything. Again, depression is also a kind of thought disorder. Negative auto suggestions will depress us down, mood goes down, it changes all the neurotransmitters and results in this kind of problem. Again, depression, the research says there is a hypothesis for this, it is known as biogenic amine theory. Biogenic amine, again, this is hypothesis, not the theory, hypothesis. Now, according to biogenic amine hypothesis, amine neurotransmitter levels are reduced in depression. Amine neurotransmitters like norepinephrine and serotonin. Especially this one. Serotonin, as I told you, it is a mood stabilizer. When the levels are going down, people are getting depression. So drugs which will try to increase the levels of norepinephrine and HT are known as typical antidepressants. Now, drugs which are acting in other ways, they are called as atypical antidepressants. Now, again, see, the problem with antidepressants are, there is a common thing with all antidepressant drugs. All of the antidepressant drugs has a tendency to cause suicide. They cause suicide thoughts and they will cause suicide habit also. See, suicide thought means getting the thought. Habit is dangerous one. That will someday will push him to suicide. So this is dangerous one. Psychosis or you treat depression, it is not cured with one tablet. You need certain period of time drug treatment to treat this problem. At least it takes 2 to 3 weeks. That means you're taking these drugs for longer period of time. There will be a lot of longer duration actions. So antidepressants, again, it is based on a hypothesis called as biogenic amine hypothesis. According to this hypothesis, neurotransmitters like norepinephrine and 5-HT levels are reduced. So the treatment is based on increasing the levels of norepinephrine and 5-HT. Drugs which are trying to increase the levels of norepinephrine and 5-HT are known as typical antidepressants. Drugs which are acting in other means are known as atypical antidepressants. So again, you have these two classes up there, typical and atypical. Now again, in typical 2, you have first generation and second generation up there. There are older drugs are there like tricyclic antidepressants, monoamine oxidase inhibitors. The newer drugs like selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors and serotonin norepinephrine reuptake inhibitors. The older classes like tricyclic antidepressants and monoamine oxidase are not used nowadays because of their multiple side effects. Now let us understand this. See, norepinephrine, serotonin, both of them, they are released from the nerve terminal. They will be acting on the target tissues or neurons. Once the action is done, they will be reuptaken back by reuptake proteins. So when you inhibit the reuptake proteins, what happens? The neurotransmitter will not be reuptaken into the nerve, neuron, it stays there and the effect will be there on peripheral neurons. So the major treatment is blocking that reuptake transporters. So the classes, there are classes like SSRI, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors. This is the popular and widely used class. Selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors. The drugs in this class are fluoxetine, fluvoxamine, sertraline, citalopram, and paroxetine. Escitalopram is also there. It is a derivative of this, citalopram. So these are the major drugs in this category. Selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, fluoxetine, fluvoxamine, sertraline, citalopram, paroxetine. What do they do? The name itself indicates. Selectively, they inhibit reuptake of serotonin. When reuptake of serotonin protein is inhibited, serotonin level increases. And that is what is the mechanism of action. And according to this theory, decreased levels of serotonin is what is causing depression. So increase the levels, you will be treating depression. Now, it is not without any side effect. Let us see the therapeutic uses. These drugs are not only used to treat depression. There are a lot of diseases out there which are being treated with this. So this is the major uses. It is used to treat depression. Now, along with depression, it is also used to treat OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder. There is a disorder in which people will be doing a particular thing repeatedly because there is a compulsion. The best example is there is something called as chirablutomania. Chaira means hand. You know, chirality is because of handedness. Ablution means cleaning. Mania means doing it repeatedly. There are people who will be washing their hands repeatedly. So it is an obsessive compulsive disorder. They'll be doing it because there is an urge to do it. So to treat that also, these drugs are used. Not only this, there are a lot of phobias are there. Phobia is nothing but fear. And PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder or depression. You know, post-traumatic means, let's say someone met with an accident. The accident one is a traumatic experience. After that accident, also people will have a kind of depression that is called as post-traumatic stress depression or disorder. Like when women when they go for delivery and after that labor pains and the baby has born, it is a kind of trauma to their body. After the delivery, most of the women will get into this post-traumatic stress depression. To treat that, also these drugs are used. Last one, panic attack. Panic attack. Now, panic attack is a kind of general thing. Certain people have fear of getting into hospitals. Something has happened in their past life, and because of that, they have that fear of getting into hospitals. So once they reach the hospital, suddenly their heart rate increases, they will get a kind of panic thing. They are called as panic attacks. To treat that, also these drugs are used. So there are wide range of diseases are there. Like it is used to treat depression, obsessive compulsive disorder, phobia, PTSD, and panic attacks. But these drugs has got severe side effects too. See, there is no drug without any side effect, but you need to be aware of this. Now, side effects like GI disturbances, gastrointestinal tract disturbances will be there. Now, along with this, all these drugs will cause sexual dysfunction. Now, the major problem comes with suicidal tendency. See, side means to kill. Bactericide, an agent which kills bacteria. Viricide, an agent which kills virus. Fungicide, an agent which kills fungus. Sui means self. Killing oneself is known as suicide. Suicidal tendency will be there. So the major side effects are GI disturbance, sexual dysfunction, and suicidal tendencies. But they have got wide use. They'll be using to treat a lot many diseases kind of things. Now, after this, you have another class, serotonin, noradrenaline reuptake inhibitors. What does this theory says? Both the neurotransmitters levels are getting decreased. So there are drugs which will inhibit serotonin as well as noradrenaline reuptake. So when both of them are inhibited, both the levels of serotonin and noradrenaline levels will increase, and that will be able to treat this disease. Now, in this class, you have drugs like venlafaxine, duloxetine, and milnacipran. See, the drugs will be difficult at the beginning, but when you keep practice, they will come to it. See, this fluoxetine is very popular drug. In fact, it is a kind of blockbuster drug. Blockbuster drugs are the drugs which can generate revenue of $1 billion in 1 year. Fluoxetine in one financial year, it has generated 13 to 14 billion dollars. So what does it indicate? People are suffering with depression very high amounts. Okay, so coming back, so SNRA, serotonin, norepinephrine reuptake inhibitors, venlafaxine, duloxetine, milnacipran is there. Again, the uses are, it is also used to treat depression. Now, along with depression, these drugs are used to treat autism and ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Now, autism, understand this word, auto means self. So people with autism, they will be drawn within themselves. They will not mix with other people. They will not socialize. They will be with themselves only. Nowadays, because of excessive mobile uses, people are becoming autistic people. They'll be with their only mobile. They'll not be talking to someone else. It is very funny. Four friends meet in a coffee shop. All of them will be looking at their mobile. What is the point of meeting here? It's a kind of autism. Now understand one more thing. When kids, when they are growing up, when they are not allowed to meet with other people, they'll be drawn within themselves and they may get autistic disease. So this autism can be treated by using SMRI. ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. See, most of the young boys, school-going boys, will have this problem. They will have attention deficit and they will be hyperactive. They cannot sit for some time and concentrate on a particular subject. That is called as ADHD. Again, this is treated by these drugs. Now, these drugs will have the same kind of adverse effects. They will have GI disturbance, sexual dysfunction is there, suicidal tendencies. So, see, these two classes are widely used because of this therapeutic uses. And these are newer generation drugs. There are older generation atypical antipsychotics are also there. Nowadays, the use of older generation is very much restricted because of their increased adverse effects. We'll see them. Two of the classes are there. We'll see them. So the classes are tricyclic antidepressants. This is a very popular one, TCA. Three cycles are there and they are treating depression, hence they are known as tricyclic antidepressants. The drugs in this class are imipramine. See, all these derivatives are the imipramine, clomipramine, trimipramine, all of them are pramines. Similarly, amitriptyline, for this also protriptyline, desitriptyline, clomitriptyline, all of them triptyline derivatives are there. And then amoxapine is there. Amoxapine. So these are important drugs. Imipramine, clomipramine, trimipramine, amitriptyline, protriptyline, desitriptyline, clomitriptyline, amoxapine. All of them are known as tricyclic antidepressants. Now, the only uses they are used to treat depression, but they have got multiple side effects because they have effects like anticholinergic, alpha receptor blockade effects are there. So what happens with anticholinergic? Choline system is responsible for digestion, defecation, urination, all those things. When these drugs are taken, urinary retention is there. Constipation will be there. Indigestion will be there. And along with that, you have a lot of other side effects. The major side effects are weight gain. Weight gain is there. And cholinergic adverse effects are there. And because it is blocking alpha receptor, you will get orthostatic hypotension too. So because of this multitude of adverse effects, these drugs are not being used nowadays. So you read it as a theoretical classification, clinically they are not being used. Not only this, you have one more class is there. Monoamine oxidase inhibitors. Now understand about that. See, the neurotransmitters like norepinephrine and 5-hydroxytryptamine, both of them are monoamines, monoamine neurotransmitters. So they are metabolized by an enzyme called monoamine oxidase. There are two subtypes of monoamine oxidase are there. Monoamine oxidase A, monoamine oxidase B. Monoamine oxidase A is responsible for the metabolism of these two neurotransmitters, whereas monoamine B is responsible for the metabolism of dopamine. So you have drugs like tranylcypromine, phenelzyme. Now, these two drugs are non-selective MAO inhibitors. That means they'll be blocking norepinephrine, serotonin, as well as they'll also block dopamine. So non-selectively, all the neurotransmitter metabolism is blocked by these ones. They will have multitude of side effects. The side effects are, when people eat cheese, when they take beer or red wine, all these three foods are rich in tyramines. Tyramines are sympathomimetics. And when people take them, along with that, if they are taking monoamine oxidase inhibitors, the tyramine levels will be very high in intestine, and it is activating sympathetic system. And the sympathetic neurotransmitters are not getting metabolized because people are taking these inhibitors. This results in severe hypertensive crisis. Let me repeat this again. Cheese, red wine, beer are rich sources of tyramine. Tyramines will increase the levels of sympathetic stimulation, and sympathetic neurotransmitters will not be metabolized because these inhibitors are blocking its metabolic pathway. It results in severe hypertensive crisis. The other thing, the monoamine oxidase inhibitors, if they are used along with these two classes, see what are these two classes are doing? They are increasing the levels of serotonin. This one is this one is selectively increasing the levels of serotonin. This one is increasing serotonin as well as norepinephrine. Both of them are metabolized by MAO inhibitors. When these two classes, either with this or with this, the two classes are used together, it results in a deadly side effects known as serotonin syndrome. Serotonin syndrome. It is nothing but there is an increased levels of serotonin effects in the human body. When you combine MAO inhibitors with this class or this class, it results in serotonin syndrome. What happens in serotonin syndrome is it has got three effects: cognitive, somatic, and autonomic side effects are there. Autonomic. Now, cognitive, somatic, autonomic, what happens is when excess levels of serotonin is there, it causes mental confusion, agitation, and irritation, and it is related to your cognitive functions. Confusion, agitation, irritation. Somatic, tremors will be there. Somatic nervous system is skeletal muscle system. Tremors will be there, and muscle rigidity will be there. Next one, autonomic side effects. Autonomic irregularity will be there, and hyperthermia is also there. Temperature control will not. All these effects are known as serotonin syndrome, and it happens when monoamine oxidase inhibitors are used along with these two classes. And these two drugs are non-selective monoamine oxidase inhibitors. There is a particular drug known as moclobemide. See, moclobemide is known as reversible inhibitor of monoamine oxidase A. So I told you monoamine oxidase has got two subtypes, monoamine oxidase A and B. A is responsible for metabolism of these two neurotransmitters, whereas B is responsible for dopamine neurotransmitter metabolism. So this is a selective drug which has got low half-life. This is a little bit safer one, but still, because of this problem, it is not widely used. So these two classes, we read it as a classification, but clinically it is not used, whereas these classes are very widely used. So all these drugs are called as typical antidepressants. Why typical? According to biogenic amine hypothesis, norepinephrine and 5-HT levels are reduced in depression. When you increase the levels, you will be treating this one. You have atypical drugs are also there. Atypical means they are not acting on these two neurotransmitters, they will be acting on other neurotransmitters, other receptors. Now, in atypical category, you have drugs like bupropion. See, bupropion is a selective dopamine reuptake inhibitor. What is this biogenic amine theory says? You increase norepinephrine or serotonin, you will be treating depression. But this one is increasing the levels of dopamine, still treating the depression. Hence, it is considered as atypical. Now, along with that, you have drugs like trazodone, mefazodone, mianserin, mirtazapine. Mianserin, mirtazapine. In fact, these drugs are 5-HT antagonists, but still they are used to treat depression. See, I told you the exact mechanism of action is not completely fathomed, but still these drugs are being used. So these are considered as atypical antidepressants because they are not typically working on the basis of biogenic amine theory. Bupropion is a dopamine selective reuptake inhibitor, and bupropion is also used to treat smoking problem. Smoking cessation, dopamine is used. Trazodone is used to treat insomnia. Insomnia means sleeplessness. So trazodone, mefazodone, mianserin, mirtazapine, bupropion, all these are atypical drugs. Now this is about antidepressants. Again, depression, psychosis, both of them are thought disorders. No matter how many amount of drugs you take, if the thought process is not treated well, people don't get cured with these problems. Let me explain certain things. See, what happens is we are all human beings and we are considered as social human beings. We like to meet with other people, talk with other people. When we don't talk, when we don't express our feelings, all the psychological problems will happen. In good olden days, we used to have a very good family system wherein kids used to share their feelings with grandparents. See, always kids has very good access with grandparents than parents. And nowadays, India has become a nuclear family kind of thing, and kids are staying only with their parents. They cannot share everything with parents, and they are getting into social media platform. See, social media, you will update your status, but you don't talk with people. That is a kind of autism kind of thing, and that is what is resulting in all this problem. You see, the World Health Organization reports, it indicates the recent trends are more with psychological problems in human beings. And depression is very rampant in students because education system has become like that. Things need to be enjoyed. Subjects need to be enjoyed. They should not cause any depression in kids. That is the problem. See, the purpose of education is to give us knowledge, give us wisdom. There is a difference between knowledge and wisdom. Knowledge, when you know the facts. Wisdom, when you use the facts for your betterment, that becomes wisdom. When you know there is a problem with thought disorders, you need to control your thoughts. When you know stress will causes adversely affects your short-term memory, you need to control your stress. That is wisdom. If you know for the sake of examination, write it down in examination, but you don't practice, that becomes only knowledge. It's of no use.